Okay, so this segment is going to be all about the ceiling and the roof. Now, we are not going to draw a whole lot of the roof. We don't need to because this is a section. And we're basically cutting through an angled part of the roof where so this is a side gable roof. So what we're going to show is a little bit of the finished ceiling, some insulation, and the eaves kind of sticking out. So let's get started with doing the ceiling. So we're going to assume gypboard we'll do about that big, just so we can have finished ceiling. We're going to assume, like I said, assume gypboard all the way across. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more, this outside wall. This should actually go up. And the same thing over here, because the gypboard is on the inside of these walls. So technically there would not be a line going across this wall or this wall. And I would continue the diagonal hatch up a little higher. Kind of like that. And same thing over here. Continue this up just a bit. Always use a 45 for this. All right, so now we're going to put in the thickness of the ceiling. Okay, and above that, we're going to have batt insulation because it's cold and we need some insulation in the ceiling. So let's say we're going to have a foot, 1 foot of insulation. Now, in the real world, what you would do is check the location and elevation of your house and see what is the requirement for that location. Here, we're kind of imagining this. So we're going to assume 1 foot of batt insulation. And the way you draw that is with a, oops, that's not very good. That's really not very good. Hold on. There we go. That's better. You use a, no, that's really not very good. You use this pattern. Let me see if I can do better on this side. Yeah, that's better. Kind of looks like old-fashioned ribbon candy. It's this back and forth kind of S shape. It is not a figure 8. A lot of people do that, and that's incorrect. Okay, so that's your insulation, and it will continue across. So the only thing we have left to do now is the eaves. And I'm going to assume that the eaves stick out a foot beyond the exterior wall of the house on both sides. Okay, so that's the depth of the eave. Now let's figure out how high we want the eave to be. And I'm going to say probably like, I don't know, 10 feet up. We have a 9-foot ceiling, so let's do, well, we could do 9.6. Let's do 9.6. Okay, and I don't need to measure it on both sides because it's parallel. So we're going to go out and out, and then we're going to go up. Like that. And up. And if we wanted to be very correct, we would have a line with and then this would not be there. Okay, and that's to tell us that this is cut off, but it does continue beyond this line. So these are the eaves hanging over, and they are, if you have a house with an end gable, what you're going to end up with is this, where there's this overhang right there. And that's the part we're showing right here, because the section is happening here. So next segment, we're going to do foundation, and then we'll be finished.